Today, we're going to move from passive voice back into active voice. So, working in reverse, we're going to take a passive voice verb and then change it into its active voice using the verb expansion rule. So, if I start with the passive voice verb with your note sheet, which says must be being cleaned, number one, well, I would then string out using the verb expansion rule for passive voice and have it look like this. That is the present of must plus be plus ing, because there's an ing in here. So I have, let's see if I get my pointer to show up here, everybody. Let's do that. My little laser pointer. So here's the present of must. I have a modal, so that gives me must. There's no have. There's an ing with being, so I get to write be plus ing. I always include the be plus em, and my main verb is clean. Now, when I change it into active voice, you'll notice that the active voice is once again the same as the passive voice minus this be plus en. So let's get rid of him. So let's make him disappear a little bit. And now, if I glue this back together, I should naturally have the active voice. Well, the present of must is must. Be is by itself. Ing goes with clean. That should give me must be cleaning. And that would be correct. The active voice would be must be cleaning. I've decreased it by one word, from 4 words to 3 words. And that's how I know I've gone from passive into active correctly. Let's try another one. Could have been being repaired. Well, this is 5 words, so it needs to be reduced to 4 words. Let's string it out. So this means I would have the past because of could. My modal is can, always in its present tense. I have a have, so I get to write have plus en. I have an ing, so I get to write in be plus ing. It's passive, so here's be plus en, and then repair. When I change it in active voice, the be plus en disappears, and now I glue it back together. I should naturally lose a word, so this should still be could. Nothing changes there. Here's have, here's been, and here's repairing. That should give me could have been repairing, and that would be the active voice. Let's try one more. Will be nominated. Well, the passive voice would be the present of will, all right, and then there's be, and then en goes with it because it's be plus en, and then there's nominate, and that gives me will be nominated. Well, I make the be plus en disappear. When I glue it back together, that's pretty easy. It's will nominate, and that's the active voice. Once again, I've gone from 3 words to 2 words, and therefore I've moved it from active to passive. Let's try this again. I've moved it from passive to active correctly. Now, on the back of your worksheet, we're also going to try rewriting our sentences. So if I take a sentence that's written in passive voice, the Boston cream donuts have been filled with a warm vanilla custard. Well, this is in passive voice. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change this 3-word verb string to a 2-word verb string. I'm not going to lose the word had. I'm just going to simply reduce it to had filled. Now that I've changed it to had filled, I also know I have to change everything around, which means the subject, in this case, Boston cream donuts, has to now turn into the object. So that naturally is going to slide over here to say subject or something had filled the Boston cream donuts with warm vanilla custard. Sometimes you have to create your own subject because it's not there. So I did. I said the pastry chef had filled the Boston cream donuts with warm vanilla custard. Let's try another one. Vladimir Putin's defeat in the hot dog eating contest will not be broadcasted by the mainstream media in Russia in order to preserve national pride. Let's take will be broadcasted and change that into active voice. So let's go from 3 words to 2 words, and that'll change into will broadcast, or in this case, will not broadcast. And now think about the switcheroo. I'm going to take Vladimir Putin's defeat and move it to the other side of the verb. And if I can find a prep phrase with the word by, like in this case, by the mainstream media, I'm going to move that to the front as the subject. So this time, unlike number 1, I had something to move to the front. So this one switches around easily to the mainstream media in Russia will not broadcast Vladimir Putin's defeat in the hot dog eating contest in order to preserve national pride. All right, see what you can do by changing your passive back into active as good practice before we start moving into our diagrams.